The story is it's a serious topic, and I was a little caught off guard by this, but just a couple days ago, 2 days ago, Shirley Manson of Garbage put an op-ed in the New York Times where she talked about the fact that she used to be a cutter, which I didn't even know was happening to her. But she really came clean about the whole thing. It's a relatively long piece, but very insightful for that kind of thing. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with that, and other things gone through with people I know and love. Cutting, not one of them, but I know it's a serious issue, and to hear her sort of recount what she was going through, and the other part of it is I'm such a big fan. I love Garbage, and I love her a lot. And you watch these people, and you see them on TV, in the music videos, at concerts. You have no idea they're covering up this huge thing. You think about Anthony Bourdain, you think about all these people that we've lost recently. And then they're hiding this whole part of them. And here's Shirley Manson, and it's great to talk about this because here she is on the other side of it. Having handled it, but she recounts quite vividly some of her first episodes of cutting. In the piece, she says, and I quote here, "I was acutely aware of the attention I attracted, but I was entirely uninterested in anyone who was ever interested in me. I wanted someone I couldn't have and was otherwise completely paralyzed. I had a desire to speak, but I could not find my voice. I wanted to change the world for girls like me, girls who didn't fit in or want to conform, but I didn't know how or where to start, and it all drove me mad with rage." When Manson finally did take a penknife to her ankle, she described the aftermath as feeling, quote, "untouchable and powerful. I was a woman in charge," she added. "More than that, I felt a warm surge of comfort and relief from the rage. A relief from the powerlessness. Something had happened that didn't feel right, and here were lines of my blood to bear witness to it and speak of it on my behalf." Looking back on the first time that she cut herself, Manson recalled the dangerous position it put her in, saying, quote, "The problem, of course, with any practice of self-harm is that once you choose to indulge in it, you get better, more efficient at it. I started to hurt myself more regularly. The cuts got deeper. I hid the scars under my stockings and never breathed a word about it to anyone." End quote. With the ending of her toxic relationship and the beginning of a more loving one, Manson said the thoughts of self-harm subsided temporarily, however, eventually crept back into her mind around the release of Garbage's second album, 1998's version 2.0, when she was thrust into the public eye. She said, quote, "I was suffering from extreme imposter syndrome, constantly measuring myself against my peers, sincerely believing that they had gotten everything right and I everything so very wrong." Manson describes the impulse to cut at that time as, quote, "compelling as it had ever been." She said, "Mercifully, I managed to resist the compulsion to harm myself again. I muscled my way through frustrations, the sick, unhealthy comparisons, and the peculiar destructive feelings that drove me to believe I wasn't enough." Nowadays, Manson says she remains vigilant about those thought spirals that would lead her to self-harm. To keep herself in a healthy mindset, she said she holds fast to the following, quote, "I vow to hold my ground. I choose to speak up. I attempt to be kind, not to myself, but to also other people. I surround myself with those who treat me well. I strive to be creative and determined to do the things that make me happy. I believe it is not what we look like that is important, but who we are. It is how we choose to move through this bewildering world of ours that truly matters." And you look at it and you go, hey, Shirley's a beautiful young lady, big rock star. You look at it from the outside, you think everything's great. And, the poor thing is dealing with all this stuff on the inside. I believe in what she said about surrounding herself with people and, being kind to herself. Those sound like two easy things, but can be quite difficult at sometimes. I'm glad she found some happiness. But I don't think that you have to be a cutter to relate to a piece like this. And that's why I thought it was really nice of her to write that and bring it up. We'll throw links, of course, The full op-ed is in Tuesday's New York Times. You can find it online by searching, or go to some of our links at wehm.com.